Welcome back to my kitchen. Today I'm wearing my Grandma Jolly's apron, so if I'm wearing Grandma's apron, we're going to make something of Grandma's. Today we're going to be making her pumpkin pudding. It's fall and we're looking to Thanksgiving and planning things to make for Thanksgiving. Here's just a very simple little pumpkin dish. My grandmother always made these. It's called pumpkin pudding, and it's kind of like pumpkin pie with no crust, but way better. And so to start with, I just went and microwaved 2 tablespoons of butter and melted it. Now I used unsalted butter so I can control the salt, which doesn't have any, but we also have a pint of pumpkin, is what Grandma called for. But now the cans of pumpkin have 15 ounces in it, so I have adjusted the recipe and it comes out just fine. So just scrape out your can and get all that yummy orange pumpkin. You can cook your own pumpkin if you like, which is not hard to do, but you just put your pumpkin in here with the butter and give it a little stir. And then I'm going to add a half cup of evaporated milk. Now this is evaporated milk, not condensed milk. And we've got a half cup. I'm going to put it in there. And then we're going to add 1 egg. And I usually let my egg sit there and be at room temperature. And kind of give that little egg a stir in there and mix all these wet ingredients together. Give it a stir. And then we're going to put in a teaspoon of cinnamon. Now I have a half teaspoon measure here, so I'll be putting in 2 of them, but I don't want to confuse you. So a teaspoon of cinnamon, and we're going to put in a teaspoon of vanilla. And so I like to use this Nielsen Massey vanilla, but you use whatever kind you have, but I'll do like real vanilla, not an imitation vanilla. And if you want to, you can give that a little stir. And then we're going to add in 1 cup of sugar, and then we're going to add in 3/4 cup of self-rising flour. And then all this we're just going to combine together. Just give it a good stir. You want to keep stirring until you don't really see any white stuff. My grandma, she made this and she put a whole stick of butter in it, and I will tell you it was really, really good, but it was also could be a little on the greasy side, so I just cut it down and only used 2 tablespoons of butter in it. But if you don't like 2 tablespoons, you can add some more. But anyway, stir till you get all your ingredients combined, stir them up off the bottom. And so my ingredients are ready. And so now we need to get our 8x8 baking dish ready. And so when I fix my baking dish, what I do is go right over the dishwasher, open the door, and hold my pan down and spray it. That way no overspray hits the floor or the counters or anywhere that I have to go back and clean up. So I've got my pan sprayed. So now we're going to put in our pumpkin. And this is the pumpkin pudding. Now I used pumpkin in there, not pumpkin pie filling. That was just regular solid packed pumpkin. And so scrape your pan out because you don't want to leave any in there because it is so good. You just wouldn't want to waste a drop. So get your pumpkin in the pan. And then we're going to spread this out. And I'm going to put it in the oven at 325 for about 45 minutes. So when we come back in 45 minutes, we will have some warm pumpkin pudding. Okay, it's time to check the pumpkin pudding. It's been in the oven for about 40 minutes. I set my timer for 40 minutes instead of 45. That way, just in case it gets done a little early. And so I did peek in to see, and it is done. And so we'll be getting it out. And be sure to use a good hot mat because it has been in there for 40 minutes. And I'm going to open it up. And, oh my goodness, does this smell good? And there we've got our pumpkin pudding, which looks just yummy. And the way I can tell that it's done is when you're going to look around the edges here. You see how it's starting to release from the edges of the pan, right there in the corner especially. I can see that it's just away from the edge a little bit. And also right there in the center, I can touch it with my finger and it doesn't stick to my finger. And the other little test is just give it a shake and it's not jiggling. So it is done. But now we need to let this cool for about 10 minutes. It is good when it's warm, but we're going to let it cool for about 10 minutes so we don't burn our mouths, and then we're going to be back to taste this yummy stuff. Okay, we've waited our 10 minutes. This pumpkin pudding is so hard to resist for 10 minutes. You would not believe it. It smells so good. But you can tell it's all done. It's pulled away from the sides of the pan. And when I do something in the 8x8 pan, I like to cut it in 9 pieces. So let's cut us some. And then we're going to be serving this up and tasting it. And I have a taster with me today. My daughter Molly came from Atlanta, and she is going to be tasting with me.
Just to eat this pumpkin pie. Pumpkin pudding.
And here's a piece for you, Molly. Okay. And here's a piece for me.
Oh, it's like a nice sprinkle of powdered sugar.
And see, it's still steaming, but we can't wait more than 10 minutes. That's just, sorry. That's just the way it is. But it looks so pretty like that. And we're going to give it a little taste. This is so good. Better than any pumpkin pie I've had.
Just like Grandma used to make.
And you can taste the warmth of the cinnamon, you can taste the creaminess of the pumpkin, and just the warm pudding. Oh, it is so good. Wish you had a piece. So go get you some pumpkin, a can of pumpkin, along with a little butter, some sugar, flour, evaporated milk, egg, vanilla, and cinnamon, and you can have one on your table in less than an hour.